Today on Project Jeep Commander Overlander, we're going to see if we can get out the pet hair. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda. I'm out here with my Jeep Commander, and when I bought this, the gentleman actually had a dog, so he actually did a pretty good job of cleaning it up before I got it. That was very courteous of him. It actually looks decently okay, as much as the pet hair can be cleaned up by a vacuum cleaner. But I thought, can I get the rest out? So I actually didn't expect him to clean it up. I thought there was going to be a lot more pet hair in it. And so I bought this little brush here, and this is not what I was expecting at all. And I'm actually not overly optimistic about this thing, but it got some decent reviews, and it says it's supposed to get the pet hair out of the car carpet right there. And I actually thought there would be some teeth on this, but I'm just kind of curious if it will get out the last of the pet hair that's really embedded, the stuff that will not come out. So in terms of a true hardcore test, this should be a good one, but I kind of actually don't think this is going to do the trick just based on what I've seen. Let's take a close look at this first. All right, so I'm in the back here, which is where the dog used to actually ride for the most part. Now, this little mat, I think, is just an extra mat, but what I actually wanted to show you here is we have pet hair embedded here. This is actually like a gray fabric. This is kind of what it looks like without the pet hair. It almost looks a little bit like fiberglass insulation, but if I go up here, you can see that pet hair. It's kind of that gray, spiky stuff, very short-haired, kind of short and curlies up there and around the edges for the most part. Now, this is what I actually bought. Now, I was actually looking at a few of these, and some of them look like very short bristle combs. And now that's actually kind of what I think I needed here. But we have this plastic inner piece here, and then around the edge, we have what it looks just like is a big, thick piece of silicone, like 4 millimeters thick. There's no bristles. There's no kind of saw edge to this. And I guess maybe that's just how it works. It's got a pointy corner so you can get into the corner stuff. And I'm not sure what this round part would be for, why it doesn't have 4 pointy corners, but I don't know. Some people say this works. So if I just had to live with this, I probably could. But it just kind of kills me to see that pet hair in there, and I'm kind of allergic to those short hairs. So I thought maybe I could just do a bit of a cleanup. This isn't really specific to the Jeep, but it's just more about trying to get this thing cleaned up as much as possible. I'm just going to start going at it. I'm just going to go at it with short strokes here like this, and it's kind of moving stuff. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to drag it or kind of use it like a knife edge, but all right, I mean, it's just kind of corralling some of that. And then I feel like what I want to do is get it into a little pile and vacuum it up or something like that. Let's go up here to where it's the worst and try that. All right, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to see, but where you can see those little gray hairs, that is the pet hair. And so I'm just going to kind of go on this. It's starting to kind of wear the edge a little bit there. I think it's thick. I mean, it is moving that pet hair, which is kind of interesting. So if I just keep kind of doing this and keep trying to walk it towards the middle, I mean, it is starting to collect, which is kind of interesting. But I also feel a little bit like if I had a really short bristled comb, I might pull some of those out because they're really embedded. But you know what I kind of realize is that because of this little sticky edge, it's kind of grabbing those hairs and kind of dragging them out from where they're embedded. So it's actually pretty clever, but it's not like super quick. You know, it's not like just pulling them and ripping them out and getting rid of them in one pass, but it is moving them. It's kind of interesting. All right. You can see as I'm kind of pushing them here, you can see those little hairs there. You kind of have to work them a few times. Some of these ones that are really deeply embedded, and that kind of drags them out. And because the rest of the fibers in the cloth aren't going to move, it's really only getting the pet hair. All right, so that's how it works. Now, I will tell you what, this is going to take a while, but what I have done here is I have collected the hair in that place. So now what I would need to do is get out my shop vac and just vacuum it up. And because they're kind of pulled out from underneath the fiber, they're sitting on top right there. So that's actually pretty good. And I'll tell you what, right over here where I was pushing, like you can see those hairs right there that are stuck. But if I keep working on them, most of them will kind of come out. That actually looks pretty good over there. All right, this actually works better than I expected. Although, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. Now I kind of want to try some of the ones that I've seen with the short little bristles and see if those work better. But I do kind of get the premise of this now. It's this grippy, almost slightly tacky, silicone that is grabbing the hair fibers and pulling them out and dragging them away and bringing them up to the top. So if you have a lot of pet hair, and this is not the worst, but it's probably the worst in terms of the shortness of the hair and how embedded they are, because we've already gotten the actual easy stuff up already. This could actually maybe put some value back into your car by getting rid of the unwanted hairs. Maybe not just in your car, but on your couch or your sofa or in your home or in your pants. But if you want to pick this up, I'll put a link to this guy in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.